Yo, what's up YouTube? Alex here, and I'm super excited to bring you this video. I made over $50,000, or about $50,000. If you include Monday Night Football, it's over $50,000 sports betting this weekend. And the point of this video is to give you tips, strategies that you can use to make money sports betting over the course of the rest of the season. I hope you walk away from this video and say, wow, I really learned some tips, some strategies that I can implement in my own sports betting to make money. Now, one thing I do want to make clear is the point of this video isn't to brag. I give out basically all of my plays 100% for free on Twitter. I give out a ton of plays every single day on Twitter, so you can follow me there, as well as Twitch. So Twitch is a live stream platform. You can see me place these bets in real time with explanations and kind of follow along. So on Saturday for college football, I made $31,000. I was literally at a wedding, so I was constantly running to the bathroom to check the scores, kind of watching all my bets play out, and it turned out to be probably my best day sports betting, or one of my best days sports betting this year. And then on Sunday, we also had an amazing day, up $18,000. So I'm going to show you the sports books where I'm finding success, the strategies, the betting markets that I'm having success with. That's the point of this video. And I did want to mention, if you enjoy this type of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know any questions. I love this. I love making sports betting content, helping other people learn about sharp, data-driven strategies. So comment any questions, video ideas. I'm back on YouTube, making more YouTube content, sports betting tutorials. I'm excited about that. So let me know any video ideas that you have. Now, a couple things I wanted to mention is we definitely had a little bit of luck this weekend. So for example, I had Jaden Daniels, this was for Monday Night Football, under 39.5 rushing yards. I gave out this play on live stream. Hundreds of people tailed it and were on the exact same bet. It was a $10,000 win for me on Monday Night Football. He was at 40 rushing yards for basically the entire fourth quarter, but to end the game, because the Commanders were up, he kneeled the ball, -1 rushing yard. So he went down to 39 and these plays ended up cashing. It was actually the same thing with James Cook. He had 40 rushing yards. He ended up having a -1 yard rush, went back to 39, which cashed another crazy play, 500 to win 2.5K. So I definitely had some lucky wins. I also had some bad beats, some brutal losses, which we'll kind of go through in this video. But without further ado, let's get into the strategies and me explaining how I made 50 grand. So the first strategy that made me a ton of money this past weekend, again, all my plays were given out for free on Twitter or Twitch. You'll see tons of people tailed all of these different plays, were super unders. That's the word I use. They're alternate lines on a player to go under. And I thought this one sports book in particular called Fliff. Fliff is legal basically everywhere in the United States, not every single state, but a lot more states than FanDuel, so I try to give out Fliff plays as much as possible. The first play I hit was James Conner under 39.5 rush plus receiving yards. This was an alternate line at plus 660 odds, so I was betting 500 to win 3,800. And you can see a bunch of people tailed it. I think I hit like 7 of these total. Next we had Rachaad White, then we had DeAndre Swift, under 49.5 rush plus receiving yards. So as a sports bettor, you want to follow the value. And what I noticed and explained numerous times on my live streams is a lot of these alternate lines, these super unders, had incredible value. I thought this play on DeAndre Swift, Fliff had it at plus 365. I ran it as a straight bet and in some parlays. I thought it should have been priced closer to like plus 200, plus 250, so I took advantage of it. We had Stevenson under 39.5 rush plus receiving yards. I ran that as a straight bet. I also included it in a parlay. We had James Cook. Long story short, I gave out a ton of these plays and had an insane win rate. So I made over $20,000 profit on Fliff just from these super unders, and tons of people tailed me and were able to make money, kind of alongside me. We also had Jaden Daniels on the kneel. He went from 40 to 39. That cashed out a few plays. And then we had Brian Robinson. Now, one thing I want to make clear is I didn't go 7-0. Like, I had some massive wins. I didn't win every single one. So there were a few plays that I lost. Super unders, Kamara lost. Zach lost. So a few of these plays lost, but you have to remember when you're betting at plus 485, for example, this play on Brian Robinson, plus 485, you only have to win, 1 out of 5.85 bets to be profitable. So let's say you only win 1 of 3 super unders betting at plus 485 odds and your unit size is $100. On the play you win, you're up 485. On the 2 plays you lose, you're down 100, 100, 200 total. So you end up 285 in profit. So Fliff was offering way too much value on these super unders. Not every single one hit, but I think I hit like 50% of them, which is absolutely insane and led to massive profits, for not only me, but all the people who follow my plays. So I've explained in other videos how I find profitable super unders, but to kind of recap, how I'm doing this is I'm using the OddsJam arbitrage tool. OddsJam's a software. It scans, reads millions of odds from all these different sports books to point out discrepancies. And basically, arbitrage is when 2 sports books have such different odds. Here's an example. In the Giants-Diamondbacks game, Caesars has the D-backs as minus 180 favorites to win the first 3 innings money line. FanDuel's super different at minus 134. So in these rare scenarios where 2 books are super out of sync, you can bet on equal and opposite outcomes and guarantee a profit. So that's arbitrage betting. Basically, as you can see right here, looking at what's called an arbitrage calculator, if you bet $750 on the Diamondbacks at minus 134, 150 on Caesars, 523.88. I'd recommend rounding to 525 or 520, not to sketch out the sports books. You'll make a risk-free profit. That's arbitrage betting. You'll see tons of people talking about why it's so profitable on Twitter and how they're arbitrage betting to make big profits. But regardless, whenever arbitrage exists, you can make risk-free money on 2 sports books, day trading them, betting on equal and opposite outcomes. Giants on Caesars, Diamondbacks on FanDuel. You can make a risk-free profit if you place those bets in the proper proportion. One of those bets has to be profitable. One of those bets has to be plus EV, either the Giants at plus 150 or the D-backs at minus 134. You can't have the ability to make risk-free money betting on both bets if neither bet is profitable. So basically what I do is I use the OddsJam arbitrage tool as a source of information, and even if I don't actually place the arbitrage bet, I use it to look for discrepancies, because whenever an arbitrage play exists, we know one of the bets has to be profitable, either Diamondbacks minus 134 or Giants plus 150 in this scenario. So one thing I want to make really clear is I won a lot of super unders this weekend, but again, I didn't win every single bet. I never mean for my content to seem misleading. So for example, there were a bunch of arbitrage bets on Zach's under on Fliff, rush plus receiving yards, his over on FanDuel. So I could have just arbitrage bet the over on FanDuel, the under on Fliff to guarantee a profit, but I thought Fliff was the side with value, so I decided to just bet his under, and guess what? It lost. He had an amazing game. That's just gonna be how it is, especially when you're betting on long shots at plus 545 odds. I always recommend to people, don't get so focused on individual wagers, right? Treat every bet like an investment in your portfolio. You want to see how you do over the course of a week, a month. Not every single bet is going to win, especially if you're betting on underdogs, long shots, things at plus 545 odds. You really need to step back, not get so flustered about every single individual wager. Another play I locked in is Alvin Kamara's under. This did not hit. I still made over $20,000 net profit this weekend from super unders. Kamara didn't hit. FanDuel had his over at minus 800. Fliff had his under at plus 940. So I could have just arbitrage bet this. For example, if I bet 100 on his under on Fliff at plus 940, 924, I would have rounded to 925 on FanDuel at minus 800. I would have made a risk-free 1556. But what I noticed looking at the odds, I know one of these bets has to be profitable, either the minus 800 over on FanDuel or the plus 940 under on Fliff. One of these bets has to be profitable because you can bet both, guarantee a profit. I decided, wow, Fliff's the book that's really screwing up here. They had Kamara's over at minus 1600 and the other books had this around minus 1000. So it was very clear Fliff was the side with value on his under. So I played his under, only I didn't hedge on FanDuel to guarantee a profit. It lost, but that's just going to be how it is sometimes. It's really important to think about your bets as an investment portfolio, right? I place hundreds of bets every single Saturday and Sunday. All I care about is the end result. So one thing I want to make clear is super unders are just profitable bets. I of course bet overs. So for example, one play I loved for this weekend was Miles Sanders over 6.5 rushing attempts at plus 105 on Fliff. I included this in a few different parlays. We were getting plus 105. Again, this sports book is called Fliff. It's legal in basically every state, not every single one, but a lot more than FanDuel, and there's some really good value on it. So if you take a look at this wager, Fliff is the only sports book with Sanders is under favored. They're offering worse odds on the under. So basically what you can gather from Fliff's odds is they have the under as the favored outcome. They're giving us plus money, plus 105 on the over, which is underdog odds. Every other sports book, every other data point we have in the market, there's hundreds of books setting NFL lines for every single, player prop market. They all have Sanders as a big favorite to go over. For example, on BetMGM, they have the over at minus 120, the under's at minus 115. So they're telling you through their odds, we think Sanders is more likely to go over. All these sports books are multi-billion-dollar companies that have invested millions of dollars in their ability to set lines, move lines. They're also getting wagers, adjusting their odds based on where betting volume's coming in, especially from sharp, profitable customers. And they all have the over favored. And we're getting plus 105 on Fliff. So this play had really clear value. I locked it in a few different parlays. And some people may ask, why do you bet on parlays, not straight bets? And honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's a personal preference. If a bet is profitable plus EV, then it's going to be profitable as a straight bet or in a parlay. If you're a profitable sports bettor, you'll actually have a higher ROI betting on parlays. You can see my ROI this year. Betting on parlays is 30%. Compared to straight bets is only 7%. That's because your edge compounds, right? Let's say your ROI for your bets on average is 5%. For a two-leg parlay, it's going to be 10% ROI. Both of your bets have a 5% ROI. So if you were only playing two-pick parlays, your ROI betting on two-pick parlays would be about 10% if you have a 5% ROI betting on straight bets. Right? The reason most people get killed betting on parlays and you hear, oh, parlays are so bad, that's how you lose all your money, is most sports bettors don't know how to bet on sports. They're not profitable sports bettors, right? If you have a negative 3% ROI betting on straight bets, then playing two-pick parlays, you're going to have an expected ROI of negative 6%. For three-pick parlays, negative 9%. Right? So basically, if you're profitable, you'll have a higher ROI betting on parlays. If you're not profitable, you'll have a lower ROI. A parlay is just a combination of bets. So again, Sanders plus 105, I thought was, a super profitable play at plus 105 odds for this weekend. Another play I ended up locking in was Douglas under or over 2.5 receptions. I thought minus 130 on Fliff was really solid value. I included that in a few parlays as well. So I'm constantly looking through the market, right, to see where books are offering value. We've obviously talked a lot about Fliff, in this video because that's a sports book I've been having success on. But again, I use tons of sports books. I use Fliff, I use Prize Picks, I use FanDuel, I use Underdog Fantasy Better, tons and tons of different sports books. The more books you have, because all books set their own odds, their own lines, more books means more profitable bets. So I always recommend using as many books as possible. Fliff is just offering a lot of value right now. So that's the book I had the best results on this past weekend. But obviously you can see on Better, I'm up over $70,000 this year. So, sometimes there's a lot better value on Better. That's why I always recommend use as many books as possible. So another thing I want to make really clear is sports betting is about understanding the basics. Honestly, there's basically no differences between betting on college football and the NFL. Basically none. I use the same strategies to make money on the NFL as well as college football. So here you can see my results on the year. The WNBA, the only league that I'm down money, I'm down $2,000. Mixed is a pretty big category for me. So mixed just means multiple sports. And the reason it's a bigger category for me is because I play parlays. A lot of these platforms, actually, they're called fantasy books, are parlay only platforms. So for example, you can see on Better, if you try to just play something as a straight bet, they'll tell you, hey, you need at least 2 picks in an entry to lock it in. You can't play straight bets. So that's the final thing I wanted to talk about, is these fixed payout platforms. I had some really good success this weekend. For example, here's a 20x I hit on Better. I gave out this play 100% for free on the live stream, $100 into 2,000, pretty dang good. And on Better, it's a parlay only platform. It's a book I'm up over $70,000 on this year, but that's just one of the maybe cons of it, is you can't play things as straight bets. You can only play parlays. But the way that Better works is they have fixed payouts. So what I mean by that is you can only take a player to go over or under. That doesn't impact your payout. So for example, one play I locked in yesterday was Spencer over 5.5 strikeouts. So there are a few different reasons I like this play, but on Better, if I include this in a 5-pick entry, I'm always getting a 20x payout, right? It doesn't matter if I take his over or his under. Any 5-pick entry, any 5-pick parlay has a 20x payout. You take his over, you take his under, you get the same payout. So basically the strategy is you want to compare the lines to sports books. So what you'll notice is all of the sports books, all of the data points in the market, for example, Circa Sports, which is known to be a really sharp, accurate book, they have Spencer's over as a -140 favorite. So they're telling you through their odds, through their betting market, hey, his over's a heavy favorite. They have it at -140. His under's +110, underdog odds, betting 100 to win 110 profit. So you know, according to Circa, this sports book that's known to be really sharp, have really accurate lines, that they think his over's heavily favored. Prize Picks, another fantasy site with fixed payouts, another fantasy book, Prize Picks, they had Spencer's line at 6. So higher than 5.5 on Better, another site that is a fantasy book. Better and Prize Picks are 2 fantasy books. They work in basically the exact same way, fixed payouts, but they don't set the same lines. Better had Spencer's line at 5.5. Prize Picks and other fantasy books had his line at 6. All the sports books had the line at 5.5 with the over heavily favored. So that's the play we want to be on Better. And I had a bunch of big fantasy wins from this past weekend. These fantasy books like Prize Picks, Better, Underdog Fantasy are super exploitable. I'm up a lot of money on them this year. So that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. But regardless, I hope you found this video helpful, insightful. Any questions, any video ideas, please drop them below. I love helping sports bettors make money. So any questions, video ideas, drop them below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thanks so much for your time.